government continued to give international students reason to believe that Denmark should not be their travel destination for 2026 and the years to come, giving stricter measures for students to come to Denmark, study, get a job, or do whatever they want to do with their life. Don't go yet, let me explain. While I was coming from work this evening, one of my friends sent me a link to a post by the Copenhagen Post, and I also had different conversations with different friends. And from what I saw from the Copenhagen Post is a very reputable media house in Denmark. And if you want any verified information, you just go there. And from what I read, it is showing that Denmark that started, like the restriction of students from coming to Denmark since 2025. This conversation began since 2025. Is continuing with these measures, and things are even getting more strict. Now, from what I read from the Copenhagen Post, there are 3 things. 1, only extremely qualified candidates are going to be given admissions, and they say those who are more qualified and prepared. And what does that mean? It means if you don't have good grades or if you're not well qualified for admissions, institutions in Denmark are not going to grant you admission either into the bachelor's degree, master's, or PhD program that you're applying for. So I wonder if those who have been, coming all these years were not qualified, or, probably now they need only those with the higher grades to come to Denmark. And as you know, if you also applied this year, you will know that school fees for many institutions skyrocketed this year. Southern Denmark University, Copenhagen University were asking for double of what we were paying per semester last year. And some of them are asking you to pay for 1 year and not even 1 semester. So it becomes heavy, and if you're really not at the top of your finances, you might not be able to afford these universities. Secondly, international students, of course, third country students, will not be able to come with accompanying family members to Denmark when they are studying here. Now, unlike the previous years where when you're coming, you could apply or file for your spouse and your children to join you in Denmark while you're studying, this time, according to the bill that is being proposed to the government or to parliament, international students will not be able to apply for or file for their family members to come and join them in Denmark while they are studying. And thirdly, the 3 years post-study visa that the Danish immigration used to give to international students in order for them to look for jobs, settle down into the society, and find their way around will no longer be 3 years. It's going to be reduced to 1 year. Yeah, so it means after studies in Denmark, you have just 1 year to sort out yourself. And if you cannot look for a job, if you cannot find a job or get something to do, you might have to leave the country. Now, after I've gone through a couple of posts on Facebook and also through the comment section, one thing is certain. Many international students in Denmark are not really happy with, bills like this, because the Danish economy, according to them, is very expensive. And you can't just survive in Denmark by just going to school alone. House rent is expensive, transportation as well, feeding is expensive, and all of that. And so you must work, you must do menial jobs in order for you to catch up with all of these things, plus the school fees. And so if Denmark is giving you just 1 year after studies to settle in, it's not being fair, because then there are so many things that you have to catch up with. And so it's not being fair, if you're not giving ample time in order for you to settle down, look for a way to integrate into the society. Remember, to get a good job here, at times, you have to learn Danish, and then you have to also master the corporate atmosphere, and do a lot of small things here and there in order for you to fully integrate into the job system in Denmark. You discover that after school, people stay here for 1 year, 2 years, without getting the dream job, or maybe a job that meets their skills, and they are still juggling between doing menial jobs and here and there. So giving someone 1 year, to get a job is like just saying after study, just go home. This is how some international students really feel about this bill. Now, before you come and ask me that when is this bill or when is this law going to take effect, remember, this is just a bill. It still has to go through parliament, and then they will discuss on it and finally see if they are implementing it or not. But that does not give you a reason to think that maybe you should just relax or not take it seriously. Remember, this conversation started since last year, 2025, and they were talking about increasing school fee so that people should not come and play around, because most of these schools and, the immigration and different institutions in Denmark are saying that international students are using the school route to join the labor market here, and some of them are not going to school, and they always mention countries like Nepal and Bangladesh. So here, yet, the law has not taken effect, or the bill has not taken effect, but there'll be discussions around it, and I know subsequently they are going to adopt that. Now, if after all of this you still want to come to Denmark, admissions are open. Bachelor's degree programs for most universities, admissions will end on the 15th of March, and for master's degree, just Aalborg University is still open, and they'll be closing by the 1st of March. So good luck with that. I'm Eduke in Denmark, and you can keep following me for updates about Denmark. Ciao, ciao. Good night.